Female tech entrepreneurs have a hard time finding investors, as do female entrepreneurs in general. In 2018, for example, only 2% of all US venture capital went to startups run by women. Why is that, and how can we change it? Our topic today on Shift. Jennifer Morgan is co-CEO of the German tech company SAP. Sheryl Sandberg heads operations at Facebook, and Susan Wojcicki manages YouTube. 3 female exceptions in an industry dominated by men. Too bad, especially considering that programming used to be seen as a typical job for women. In the US, in the 40s, they played a big role in pioneering digital technology. But today, far less women work in tech. Only 14% of tech startups worldwide were created by women. They found less, develop less, and because of that, their creativity goes unused for the market. Do women face bigger challenges? Here's what these leaders have to say.
We need more female role models. Come to think of it, there's hardly any successful female entrepreneurs that I can look up to. It's like in all areas of life. Without a role model or someone to live up to, it's just hard for young people to find their way. And it's easy for them to get discouraged.
On the first meeting with, let's say, investors or with big CEOs of companies, that they don't take you seriously. So they're like, "Aw, you're cute. You're this female founder trying to do something good, but you're not being taken seriously."
Because I'm woman, I'm not feeling that I am the boss. I'm feeling that we are a team, and I cannot do anything without my team.
That's not the only reason female decision makers are vital for the tech industry. They are also an untapped resource as consumers. Did you know that women drive some 70% of all consumer purchasing? And more often than not, they are the ones who decide which technology to buy for their households and families. So companies who want to create successful tech products should look more to their female target audience. And that works best when women are made part of the development process. How? It's easy.
Startups with a balanced ratio of men and women are more effective and efficient. Teams reach decisions faster, meetings don't drag on as long, and products are aimed at a broader target group. That's especially important in the tech world, where men are mostly considered the prime consumers. Hiring more women also pays off financially. Startups with a large share of female staff are often more successful. For investors, that means more return. Startups run by men generate 31 cents return for every dollar invested, while female-led startups generated more than double that, according to studies in the US.
The numbers show that women create far more sustainable startups, and their failure rates are lower. I hope these numbers get out to the wider public, and we can put this whole thing behind us.
Stats show that tech companies tend to be especially successful with females in key decision-making roles. So why do male tech entrepreneurs tend to capture capital more easily than women? Founder and businesswoman Martha Ra thinks many investors still harbor age-old prejudice.
There is probably an unconscious bias in their decision-making. Most of the times the capital givers are men, and they feel that male founders are more competent.
Many female founders find themselves confronted with antiquated stereotypes. Too often, the investors they face still believe that men are better leaders, that they're more likely to be more successful, and that men generate better business ideas.
It's not true. Men just are better salespersons and can present themselves better than women. Women are often way too humble.
But that's not all. Martha Ra thinks another reason why women have such a disadvantage in the tech industry lies in our past.
Tech is much as a topic for women as it is for men, but I think that has to do maybe with the upbringing and how we were educated, that technical topics are more of a male domain than a female domain.
The result? Women have to fight harder for venture capital for their startups, and they're granted less. Take major US tech deals in 2018, for example. Male-run startups acquired billions in investments, while female-run startups didn't get a fraction of that. What causes such a big investment gap? Do men just have the better ideas? Researchers found that men and women are treated differently, even when they pitch.
Studies show when pitching their new ideas to investors, prospective female founders are often treated differently than their male counterparts. Gender stereotypes are partly to blame for that. Behavioral scientist Donna Kantz can demonstrate this simply based on the questions investors ask. Her research shows investors ask male entrepreneurs more questions on how they plan to grow their startup. They're curious about things like the prospects of their business idea, how they plan to generate more revenue, or what their long-term vision is. Female entrepreneurs, on the other hand, are expected to explain how they plan to avoid failure. They need to show how much they know about their competitors, how they plan to protect themselves from risk, or how high their costs are. But not only male venture capitalists displayed bias in their line of questioning.
I expected female VCs to behave similarly to male VCs, meaning that male VCs would favor male entrepreneurs with promotion questions, and female VCs would do the same for female entrepreneurs. But instead, all VCs displayed the same implicit gender bias.
The sort of questions asked had a huge impact on how much money VCs opted to invest in new startups, if any at all.
Those startups who were asked predominantly promotion questions went on to raise 7 times as much funding.
When pitching their ideas to investors, Dana Keynes recommends that female entrepreneurs don't allow questioning to corner them in the defensive. When asked about potential risks, respond with positive arguments. Emphasize possible growth, not how to avoid loss. So it is a lot harder for female founders to acquire capital. The good news is there are lots of networks now aimed at supporting women in tech. With coaching, know-how and resources, they help women get their ideas off the ground.
Marta Ra used to work in finance and witnessed discrimination against women firsthand. That's why she created the International Women in Sustainable Finance Network.
We want to break the glass ceiling that obviously exists in the financial world. It's a gents club, it has always been. And we wanted to create a safe frame for women to get together within the financial world.
Women in Sustainable Finance brings together women currently founding or running businesses. An initiative by women for women, full of discussion rounds and lectures. But not all male colleagues are supportive.
One feedback was from a male colleague who said, "Oh, this is just a chit-chat group. It's just women meeting and drinking coffee."
To avoid more comments like that in the future and to encourage more women to start their own tech businesses, Marta Ra thinks society should fundamentally revisit the way it sees women.
But of course there are successful female tech founders. One of them is Fatoumata Ba from Senegal. She programmed her very first website when she was just 16. And since then, she has led various tech companies. In 2016, Forbes deemed her one of Africa's most promising young entrepreneurs. But she too has experienced gender discrimination.
Being a tech entrepreneur, it has occurred so many times that you have, these questions that will never be asked to men. Are you single? Are you going to make babies? Can I, bet on you on the long run? And that is very actually toxic.
But Fatoumata Ba rose to the top anyway. She founded and now leads Django, a social tech incubator that invests in and supports African startups. Africa has plenty of startup hubs, but not enough jobs. By 2050, an estimated 20 million new jobs will be needed every year for men and women.
It's not a matter actually of making it only a gender case. Of course, it's a good reason enough to be fair and balanced. But I actually want to make it a business case because we are actually missing probably hundreds of billions of dollars of GDP because we are lacking actually female entrepreneurs funding.
Fatoumata Ba herself proved that investing in female-run startups can be very lucrative. She helped start and run the regional branches of Jumia, an African e-commerce platform in Côte d'Ivoire and Nigeria. Jumia is considered the African equivalent to Amazon and is active in 14 different countries. More than 80,000 companies sell their products on this platform. It's a huge success, and given Africa's projected population growth, many more such innovative business ideas will be needed to create enough jobs. But many young entrepreneurs lack seed capital to get the ball rolling.
Africa itself is suffering from a very strong funding gap compared to other geographies. You have so many private equity guys, you have so many institutions and pension funds, but you don't have enough venture capital. So unlocking direct capital and not only being an incubator or another accelerator or another contest is really something critical.
That's why she hopes her Django incubator can also get global investors to support Africa's startup scene and to back more female entrepreneurs.
Okay. Sorry.
So do we. Latest figures show things are slowly improving for women in the tech industry. It seems that women's networks and related projects are starting to pay off. Even so, many obstacles remain. I think that companies and customers benefit a lot from more diversity in the workforce. And how do we get there? As long as we're haunted with the cliché that men have better business ideas, would a female quota help? What do you think? Let us know. For example, here. And now I want to let a woman have the last word, with a message to all you potential female leaders out there. See you soon. Bye-bye.
My first tip is dare. My second tip is go for it. And the third tip is persistence and stamina. This is what you need in order to be successful.